The alien cruiser Seraphis Dawn drifted through the quiet darkness of space, its metallic wings glimmering under a faraway star. Inside its shining corridors, panic filled the air. The heart of the ship, the Royal Medbay, was alive with sound. Alarms blinked red, scanners hummed, and voices of fear echoed in strange alien tones. On the central bed lay Princess Kalira of the Varan Dominion, the daughter of an ancient race known for their wisdom, grace, and luminous silver skin. But now, her glow was fading. Her breathing came in weak gasps. Her pulse, a rhythmic light that pulsed beneath her skin, was almost gone. Around her, 3 alien healers struggled, their thin hands trembling as they worked the controls of strange machines. "Her life stream is falling," cried one. "The parasite is consuming her inner energy." Another shook his head helplessly. "No known cure works. We have tried every serum in the Dominion database." A tall alien with dark blue armor stepped closer. His name was Commander Threx, Kalira's protector since birth. His face, sharp and ridged, looked carved from stone, but in his golden eyes burned deep worry. "She cannot die," he whispered. "The Council will lose hope. The people need her." Standing a few steps behind the others was Captain Marcus Hale, the only human aboard the cruiser. He had been rescued just 3 days ago from the wreck of a Terran battleship. The Varan had found him drifting in space, half dead, yet still clinging to life. They called him a miracle of stubbornness, like all humans. Now he watched the scene quietly, fists clenched at his sides. He didn't understand all their alien words, but he knew the language of desperation well enough. He had seen too many people die in war to mistake it. "What's happening to her?" Marcus asked finally. Threx turned, towering over him. "A plasma parasite," he said grimly. "A creature born from energy storms. It entered her bloodstream during battle. It feeds on her life force. We cannot remove it." Marcus frowned. "You're saying it's eating her alive?" "Yes," Threx replied coldly. "And when it is done, nothing will remain but an empty shell." Marcus's jaw tightened. He looked again at Kalira. Even in her dying state she was stunning, her skin faintly glowing like moonlight, her hair a cascade of silver threads. But what caught his attention most was her face. She looked peaceful, innocent, undeserving of this fate. He had seen that same helplessness before, on battlefields, in refugee camps, in the mirror. Something deep inside him refused to stand by. He stepped forward. "What if you used my blood?" The healers froze. Threx blinked, clearly thinking he had misheard. "Your blood?" he repeated. "You are human. Our species are incompatible. Your blood would kill her faster." "Maybe," Marcus said, calm but firm. "Or maybe it'll kill that parasite instead. You said it feeds on her energy. My body doesn't have that same kind of energy, right? Maybe it'll confuse it." The healers exchanged nervous glances. One shook his head rapidly. "Impossible. The systems cannot translate such primitive blood." Marcus shrugged. "Then translate it by hand." Threx growled. "You speak as if her life is a game, Terran." Marcus met his gaze. "No, I speak as someone who's tired of watching people die." The alien commander hesitated. He had heard humans were reckless, emotional creatures, but also brave. There was a spark in Marcus's eyes that reminded him of Kalira's own stubborn spirit. Finally, Threx turned to the chief healer. "Prepare the transfer." The healer hesitated. "Commander." "Do it," Threx said. "We have no other choice." The medbay filled with activity. Machines were moved, tubes connected, translators activated. Marcus sat beside the princess's bed as the healers adjusted the systems to adapt his biology. His veins were connected through a glowing filtration device that hummed like a heartbeat. "You may feel pain," one healer warned. "Your blood will be drawn at high pressure." Marcus gave a small smile. "I've had worse." As the machine activated, red human blood began to flow through the filters, transformed slightly by alien nanotech, before reaching the princess's arm. Her body tensed. Alarms flashed. The parasite reacted violently. Kalira's skin darkened, glowing veins twisting under the surface. Monitors screamed warnings in Varan script. The healers panicked. "Her vitals are collapsing. Stop the transfer," one shouted. "Wait," Marcus yelled. He could feel his own strength draining, but he saw something in the readings, a small spike of stability amid the chaos. "It's fighting back. Give it a second." For a tense moment, everyone froze. The parasite writhed visibly through Kalira's veins like dark lightning. But then, slowly, it began to fade. The darkness retreated, leaving behind only her natural silver glow. The alarms quieted, the readings leveled, and her breathing steadied. The healers gasped. Threx took a step forward, his golden eyes wide. "Her life stream is stabilizing." Marcus leaned back in relief, his vision swimming. "Told you. Worth a try." The healers stared at the screens in disbelief. This should not be possible. Human blood contains no energy. Yet the parasite was destroyed. Threx turned toward Marcus, astonishment breaking through his normally cold expression. "Your blood saved her." Marcus gave a tired smile. "Guess humans are tougher than they look." Hours passed. Marcus sat quietly in the corner, recovering with a nutrient drink in his hand. The healers continued to monitor Kalira. Her color had returned and her pulse glowed brighter than before. But something strange was happening. The rhythm of her energy now matched Marcus's own heart rate. Every time his pulse quickened, so did hers. Threx noticed it first. "Her energy, it echoes yours." One healer nodded in disbelief. "Impossible. A resonance link between species cannot occur." Marcus frowned. "A what now?" "It means," the healer explained slowly, "that her body has attuned itself to yours. You are connected." Marcus blinked. "You mean she's synced with me?" "Yes," the healer said, "as if your hearts beat together." Before Marcus could respond, a soft sound came from the bed. Kalira stirred, her eyelids fluttering open. Her silver eyes, now glowing faintly red, met his. She looked confused but calm. "Where am I?" she whispered weakly. Threx hurried to her side. "You are safe, Princess. The parasite is gone." She turned her gaze toward Marcus. "You are the human." Marcus nodded slightly. "Guilty as charged." Her expression softened, almost curious. "I can feel your heartbeat," she said quietly. "It echoes inside me." The room went silent. Even the machines seemed to pause. Marcus blinked, unsure what to say. "That's new," Threx spoke carefully. "It appears the healing has formed a bond between your life streams." Kalira closed her eyes for a moment, sensing the strange warmth that pulsed within her chest, a rhythm foreign yet comforting. "You gave your blood," she whispered. "Why?" Marcus hesitated, then shrugged lightly. "Didn't want to watch someone die when I could do something about it." Her lips curved faintly, a fragile smile. "Humans are strange." "Yeah," Marcus said softly. "We get that a lot." Later that night, as the Seraphis Dawn continued its silent journey through space, Threx stood with Marcus near the observation deck. Stars stretched endlessly beyond the glass, and the glow of a nebula bathed the room in pale blue light. "You risked your life for her," Threx said, his tone not accusing but thoughtful. "You barely knew her." Marcus shrugged. "Doesn't matter who it is, a life's a life." The commander studied him. "In our history, no alien has ever shared their blood with another species. What you did, it breaks every law of biology." Marcus smirked faintly. "Guess your biology never met human stubbornness." Threx's gaze shifted to the stars. "Perhaps your people are not as primitive as we believed." Marcus chuckled. "We're a mess, sure, but when it comes to surviving, we don't give up easily." Silence followed, broken only by the faint hum of the engines. Then Threx said quietly, "She will recover. But the bond between you, It may have side effects. Our healers cannot predict them. Marcus looked at the nebula's shifting colors. Whatever happens, I'll deal with it. In the medbay, Kaylira sat up slowly, feeling the soft glow of her body's renewed strength. Yet something felt different. Her senses were sharper, her emotions warmer, her mind clearer, and somewhere deep inside she could feel the steady thrum of another heartbeat, Marcus's. She touched her chest in wonder. Human blood, she whispered. It carries something alive. Her attendant healer approached. Princess, your readings are unprecedented. You are changed. Kaylira smiled faintly. Yes, but perhaps change is not something to fear. She looked out through the window at the stars. Somewhere in the next room she could feel Marcus's steady heartbeat echo in time with her own. For the first time since her illness began, she did not feel alone, and in that shared rhythm, human and alien, two worlds bound by one impossible act, something new was born, something neither science nor reason could explain. The beginning of a connection that would soon challenge everything both their species believed. The next morning, the Seraphis dawn floated quietly through the emptiness of space. The once chaotic medbay was calm now. Only soft light filled the room where Princess Kaylira rested, her silver and crimson glow pulsing gently with every heartbeat. But she was no longer alone. In the chair beside her slept Captain Marcus Hale, still pale from the blood transfer. His arm was wrapped in bandages and his head rested against the wall. Even in sleep, his posture carried the tension of a soldier who never truly relaxed. When Kaylira opened her eyes, the first thing she felt was the heartbeat. It thumped inside her chest, steady and strong, but it wasn't hers alone. Every time it beat, she could sense his as well, like two rhythms in perfect harmony. She turned her head slightly and saw him, the human who had given part of himself to save her. His face looked peaceful but tired. Something about him fascinated her. His body was fragile compared to hers, his skin dull beside her glow. Yet his spirit, his energy, felt more alive than anyone she had ever met. Human, she whispered softly, as if testing the word. Her whisper was enough to wake him. Marcus blinked, sitting up straight. You're awake, he said, rubbing his eyes. How do you feel? Kaylira smiled faintly. Alive. And strange. Strange how? She looked down at her hands. I can feel your heartbeat. I can feel your thoughts like echoes at the edge of my mind. Marcus frowned slightly. That's new. The healer, standing nearby, spoke up. It is not only new, it is impossible. The resonance between you continues to grow. You are becoming synchronized at a biological level. Marcus stared at him. You're saying we're connected? Like literally? Yes, the healer said carefully. If your heart stops, so will hers. If she feels pain, you may feel it too. Your blood has changed her energy pattern, and perhaps hers has changed you as well. Kaylira met Marcus's gaze, her eyes glowing faintly red. Then we share one life now, she said softly. Marcus gave a tired smile. Guess we're both stuck with it. Hours later, Kaylira walked slowly through the observation deck, her gown trailing like liquid light. She had been told to rest, but her curiosity was too strong. Outside the glass walls, stars drifted by like frozen sparks. Marcus joined her, carrying 2 cups of steaming synth tea. You shouldn't be walking yet, he said, handing her one. She accepted it with a graceful nod. I should be dead, she replied simply. I think walking is the least of my problems. He couldn't help but laugh. Fair point. They stood together in silence, watching the endless sky. For a while, neither spoke. Then Kaylira said quietly, When I was ill, I felt darkness closing in. But when your blood entered me, I felt something else, warmth, light, strength. What is it that gives humans such fire? Marcus thought for a moment before answering. Maybe it's because we've always been small, he said. The universe never made things easy for us. So we learned to fight for every breath, to keep going even when there's no reason to. Kaylira studied him carefully. You risked your life for someone you did not know, not even of your species. Why? Marcus shrugged. Because it was the right thing to do. You were dying. I could help. That's enough. She tilted her head slightly. Among my people, most would have let you die if our roles were reversed. I know, Marcus said quietly. You told me that the first day I woke up here. But maybe this is how things change. Kalira looked at him for a long moment, her eyes softening. Perhaps, she said. Later that day, the ship's alarms blared once more. Commander Threx stormed into the bridge. Report, he barked. The pilot turned. A cruiser approaches, markings of the Dravic Empire. They demand we surrender the human. Threx's eyes narrowed. How do they know he is aboard? They claim to have tracked his distress signal before we found him. The pilot replied. They say he carries something they want. Threx frowned. Prepare the shields. No one touches the human. Meanwhile, in the medbay, Marcus felt something sharp twist inside his chest. He gasped and grabbed his side, collapsing against the wall. Kalira, standing nearby, felt it instantly. Pain shot through her body in the exact same spot. She cried out, clutching her chest. The healers rushed to her side, confused. Princess, what is wrong? Marcus forced a breath. It's the link, he groaned. Something's happening to me, and it's hitting her too. Moments later, Threx entered. Dravic ships are attacking. We cannot risk her on the front lines. You both must stay in the inner chamber. Kalira stood weakly but firm. No, Commander. If the human is the reason they are here, then hiding will solve nothing. Marcus gave a bitter laugh. You sound like me now. Threx hesitated. Princess, you are still recovering. Then let them see that the Princess of Varen does not hide while others fight for her, she said, her voice filled with quiet power. Threx bowed his head slightly. As you wish. On the command deck, Kalira and Marcus watched the enemy cruiser appear on the screen, a dark ship surrounded by electric storms. A voice crackled over the comm. Varen vessel, surrender the Terran. His blood carries a secret your people do not understand. Hand him over or be destroyed, Marcus muttered under his breath. I hate how aliens always sound so polite when they threaten to kill you. Kalira glanced at him. They fear you, she said. Me? He raised an eyebrow. I'm just a guy who got lucky with a blood transfusion. You do not understand, she replied. Your blood destroyed a creature born from pure energy. To the Dravic, that is impossible. They will not stop until they know how. Great, Marcus sighed. So I'm officially a science project. Kalira turned to Threx. Open a channel. When the Dravic commander appeared on the screen, his reptilian face sneered. So the princess herself speaks. Will you protect the human who has cursed you? Kalira lifted her chin. He did not curse me. He saved me. And if you threaten him again, you will answer to me. The commander hissed. Then you share his fate. With that, the screen went dark and the battle began. The Seraphis Dawn shook under enemy fire. Energy blasts lit the darkness like silent lightning. Marcus stumbled, gripping the console. You guys have shields for this, right? Threx barked orders. Return fire! Focus on their engines. Kalira closed her eyes, concentrating. The energy around her shimmered. The resonance link pulsed stronger, drawing faint red light from her chest and from Marcus's. Kalira, what are you doing? Marcus asked. I can feel the power that flows through your blood, she whispered. If I focus, I can channel it. Before he could stop her, she raised her hands. A beam of combined silver and red light erupted from the ship's core, slicing through space. It struck the enemy cruiser with incredible force. The Dravic shields shattered, the bridge filled with stunned silence. Threx's mouth opened slightly. Princess, that energy output, how? Kalira lowered her hands, breathing hard. Human will, she said softly. It burns brighter than any plasma I have ever felt. Marcus stared at her. You just used my blood to fire a super laser. She gave a faint smile. Yes, I believe that is what you would call teamwork. Minutes later, the Dravic cruiser retreated, limping into the void. The Seraphis Dawn stood victorious. Cheers echoed through the bridge, but Marcus barely heard them. His body trembled with exhaustion. Kalira rushed to him, catching him as he stumbled. Marcus! I'm fine, he muttered, forcing a grin. Just need a nap. But the moment she touched his arm, a strange light flared between them. The resonance deepened, pulsing like twin hearts beating as one. The healer, watching from a distance, whispered in awe. Their energies are merging further. They are no longer two beings. They are one system. Kalira looked at Marcus, realization dawning in her eyes. If you fade, I fade too, he smiled weakly. Guess we're in this together. Days passed. Repairs were made and peace returned. Yet both Marcus and Kalira could feel the bond growing. Sometimes he would finish her sentences. Other times she would laugh at a thought he hadn't spoken aloud. Threx observed them with quiet curiosity. "Perhaps this was meant to happen," he said one evening. "Our species have fought for centuries. Yet your shared blood has united what politics never could." Kalira nodded slowly. "Maybe the universe wanted to remind us that life is stronger when it's shared." Marcus grinned. "Or maybe it just wanted to prove humans make good donors." She laughed softly, the sound like music. "You are impossible." "Yeah," he said. "But apparently so are you." Weeks later, when the cruiser returned to Varan space, news of the princess's recovery spread like fire. The council demanded to study the human and the link, but Kalira refused. "He is not a specimen," she told them firmly. "He is a friend and my bond." Some whispered that their connection was unnatural. Others called it destiny. But Marcus didn't care about the politics. He just wanted to go home. Yet when the time came for him to leave, Kalira stood with him at the launch bay. "When you return to your world," she said softly, "you will still feel me." He smiled. "Yeah, somehow I think I'll never get rid of that heartbeat in my chest." She placed her hand over his heart. "It will remind you that even across the stars, two lives can share one rhythm." As the shuttle door closed, he met her eyes one last time. "Take care of my blood, princess. And you," she said with a small smile, "take care of my heart." When the shuttle left orbit, Kalira watched the stars fade into streaks of light. Her hand rested on her chest, where the faint echo of Marcus's heartbeat still pulsed softly. Across the void, aboard his ship, Marcus felt the same rhythm inside him,